All right, so today we've got a really cool story for you. It's about how a simple game, something literally doodled in the back of a notebook, grew and changed over a decade. It became this complex, sprawling, and in the end, pretty elegant digital thing. This is the wild history of OXTriangle, and it all really boils down to this one question, doesn't it? How does a tiny, personal, kind of messy little idea, a doodle, how does that grow into a whole world with its own rules and its own history? It all kicks off right here with this quote from the creator. And I love this because it wasn't born in some fancy design studio. Nope. It started with two brothers, a couple of pens, and a notebook they probably should have been using for schoolwork. So let's go back. Picture this. It's 2007, and we're in the back of an old math book. The game was played with, well, whatever was on the desk. Black and red pens, a blue highlighter. That was it. That was the whole toolkit. The rules at the start were, incredibly simple. One player's the cross, the other's the circle. If you're the cross, your job is to hunt down the circle. You can move anywhere, leaving this blue highlighter trail behind you. But if you're the circle, you're stuck on those blue spaces, and your only goal is just to survive. It's simple, it's elegant, and it was born completely out of the tools they had. And here's a detail that's kind of heartbreaking, honestly. That original math book, the birthplace of this whole thing, it was eventually burned. It's just gone. A lost artifact from this whole creative journey. But you know how these things go. That beautiful simplicity, it couldn't last. Pure imagination just took over, and new ideas started getting piled on, one after another. The game was diving headfirst into this new phase of, well, beautiful chaos. First up, boulders. A simple physics-based threat that added this whole new layer of danger from the environment itself. All of a sudden, the board could actually fight back. And then, on level 8, came the character that would eventually give the game its name, the triangle. This completely changed the dynamic. Now, crosses kill triangles, and triangles kill circles. A little food chain was starting to form. Okay, so to keep the crosses from being totally overpowered, the A character was brought in. A kills crosses, but it gets killed by triangles. And just like that, you've got this perfect little rock, paper, scissors loop going. The strategy just got way, way deeper. But the evolution didn't stop there, oh no. Soon, they added the S character. This one couldn't actually kill anything, but it could stun other pieces. So the game was now moving beyond just simple who kills who and into these complex status effects and, controlling the board. I mean, with dozens of new characters popping up. We're talking bombers, teleporters, even characters inspired by other video games. The world of this game was getting incredibly rich. But it really begged a crucial question. Was all this new stuff, all this complexity, actually making the game any better? And the answer, as it turned out, was a big no. This explosion of rules had a pretty serious side effect. Players figured out an exploit. If you packed 4 characters into one square, they became invincible. So gameplay just ground to a halt. People would build these unbreakable forts, and it just led to these long, super boring stalemates. The messiness wasn't just in the rules, though. The actual physical pages were becoming a total wreck. Covered in scribbles and little paper patches glued over mistakes. It was time. It was time to go digital. But that jump brought its own set of problems. And yeah, that journey to a digital version, it was not a straight line. The first try was in Excel back in 2008, but that failed. The cells were rectangular, stacking was a pain, it just didn't work. But then in 2010, they tried again, this time with MS Paint. And that was the breakthrough. It became the new way to play. The benefits were, instantly obvious. No more scribbling things out, no more highlighters running dry. With Paint, you could just cleanly move pieces, the fill bucket was instant, and this is the big one, you could save and copy blank levels. It was a total game changer. Now that the game was digital, adding new ideas was easier than ever. And you can totally tell what the creator was playing at the time, Plants vs. Zombies. Its DNA is all over this. There's a character based on the Hypnoshroom, a giant G-unit that's basically the Gargantuar. The influence is crystal clear. So in 2013, the creator decides to make the ultimate leap, turned this MS Paint game into a real playable computer game with a program called GameMaker. But this is where the game's massive, sprawling complexity crashed head-on with a lack of programming experience. This number right here, it is just mind-blowing. Because the creator was using a drag-and-drop system and didn't really know how to code efficiently, the same chunk of code for handling collisions had to be copied and pasted 144 times. It was, an absolute house of cards waiting to fall. And all that repetitive code, plus jamming every single image for the backgrounds and menus right into the file, well, it made the game swell up to 26 megabytes. It was taking over a minute just to compile, and then another minute just to load. The whole project was collapsing under its own weight. Something had to change. So the creator basically went back to school, learning how to actually program. The drag-and-drop stuff? Gone. Replaced with lean, reusable scripts. All those images were moved outside the main file, and instead of using separate images for each character, they were drawn with code. And the results of all that hard work? A complete transformation. The file size just plummeted, from 26 megs all the way down to under 5. The game was suddenly fast, stable, and most importantly, you could actually work on it again. The project was saved from itself. So, with the technical crisis over, the game moved into its final phase. And this time, it wasn't about adding more stuff. It was about taking what was already there and refining it, making the whole experience more elegant, more professional. And maybe the single most important change was this one right here. Simplifying how you win. That old messy rule about losing all your survival characters? Scrapped. The new rule was beautifully simple. Protect your O. If your O character is gone, you lose. That's it. This one change just sliced through years of complexity. It gave every single match a clear focus, and it instantly got rid of those boring, stagnant games. Honestly, it was a stroke of design genius. So you go from a doodle in a math book all the way to a complex and then finally refined digital strategy game. The History of OXTriangle is just an amazing testament to passion and, well, sheer persistence. It really makes you wonder, doesn't it? What incredible, sprawling 10-year project is hiding in the back of your notebook, just waiting for you to find it?